Hi, and welcome to another edition of Danny's Hot Takes. Today we'll be reviewing the Codex Supplement Salamanders.
Hot!
Hot! And it is hot.
Literally, because they're the fire people.
I know, right?
They've ruined Avatar.
What?
The Last Airbender? The fire people? Nothing? I will just jot a note down to cut that out.
Wow.
And there it is.
Jesus.
All right.
How old are you?
But Avatar references make you solid early 20s.
Yeah, very good. All right, so I'm Danny, and I'm joined today by
Dave?
John?
and John, our special guest.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
That's not really
Special
special.
normal?
Yeah.
Well, I use special
Special.
with air quotes.
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't see it. Oh, wait, no, you can see it this time.
You
Damn
absolutely could see that. All right. So today we're going to be reviewing Codex Supplement Salamanders. Super awesome book that Games Workshop is coming out with. This will be going up for pre-order today.
It's not as good as Iron Hands or any of the other supplements that exist already. Is that a statement you would say, Danny?
It is not. I would say this book is just as good as...
That is a statement you would say?
I would say... No, I would say it is just as good as Iron Hands.
Okay, you heard it here. Danny said it's not as good as Iron Hands. They don't need to be FAQ'd.
So,
Let's just wrap this up and call it
Iron
good.
Hands don't have to be FAQ'd, or Salamanders don't have to be FAQ'd? Because
Well, now
I
I'm
think
confused by the double negatives.
technically, I think they both need to be FAQ'd. But we'll see.
All right, as long as they're equally FAQ'd.
Sorry, I'm not getting off on a good start here. Let's talk about this awesome Codex supplement. I'm excited about
This
it.
book is so good.
It's so good.
It is,
Yeah.
compared, I was excited for my Imperial Fists, and then I read the Salamanders, and I'm like, oh.
Oh,
You know, you just
that's
gotta,
what real power looks like.
you gotta add blue to yellow armor to get to Salamanders, John. You'll be fine.
The Virgin Imperial Fist versus the Chad Salamander.
All right.
Well, they don't have any successors, man, so they really have concentrated their power.
You got two bonus stratagems because they don't have any successors. Damn it.
That's true.
Yep.
All right, so today we'll be focusing on the rules for the Lords of Nocturne, or the Salamanders. But the fluff is really great. They have this really good detail of a new campaign that the Salamanders have fought in since after the
Never before
Anomalous
talked
Crusade.
about.
Yeah, I
campaign?
believe so.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
so pretty cool. It does have rules for 2 characters.
What?
Yeah, double the amount of characters that you would get in the Iron Hand supplement.
FAQ this right now.
So you've got Vulcan Hestan, you've got Ardex Agaton. I think that's how you say his name. That seems right.
Close enough.
Yeah.
So these are both characters. So Agaton is actually a sergeant in the Salamanders series of books. He's been elevated to captain now, so that's pretty cool.
And Primerified as well.
Yeah, he's also has crossed the Rubicon and become a serious badass. But first, we're going to talk about Vulcan Hestan. Now, Vulcan comes in at a whopping 130 points. Just kidding, that's a pretty good deal for
This
what
is
you
a
get.
really good
I
deal
was
for
going
him.
to say,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
So pretty standard captain profile stats. 5 wounds, toughness 4, strength 4, 4 base attacks. He does have a 2+ armor save, which is nice. He's got a bolt pistol. He's got Gauntlet of the Forge, which is effectively a heavy flamer. He also has the Spear of Vulcan, which is the same as a Relic Blade, except it's only AP -2, not AP -3. So still pretty good though. So he gets 5 strength 6 attacks in the first round of combat.
Yep.
Yeah, people are really upset about
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Iron Hands game going on.
Yeah, right.
upstairs.
That's what it is. Yeah, bunch of babies. And then he's got Rights of Battle, just like a captain. He's got Caesaria's Mantle, which is a 3-up invul save, and then his most important rule, which we'll talk about probably ad nauseum during this review, is Forge Father. You can reroll hits and reroll to wound rolls with flamer or melted weapons within 6 inches of him. That is an insanely powerful ability with this book.
Fire Daddy.
Oh my god, he's really good at bringing the pain. And that reroll to wound roll, especially with flamer weapons, is going to be instrumental. He's the Gulliman of fire. Well, he's better.
Overrated
Yeah.
and balanced.
Yeah, there you go. Sure. And then secondly, we have Ardax. Ardax is a standard Primaris captain. He's got strength and toughness 4, 6 wounds, 5 base attacks. He also has a 2+ armor save, which is very nice. I think
Which,
that's a
yeah,
nice
is
ability.
unique almost for Primaris, right?
Yeah, for the most. Well,
There's not a lot of 2
yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah,
there are no two-up saves unless you give them not for Primaris.
Yeah, Farios has one.
Yeah, but he's not really a person. He's like a robot with a head. But
I don't think he does. Are you sure?
He's a 2-up, yeah, for sure.
So he also has Artificer armor then.
Yeah.
Or at least that's how Danny's been playing him, so that's all.
Yeah, so, but my opponents have been letting me get away with it. They're like, of course he does. He has every other rule. So, he's got 5 base attacks, which is great. He's got Dracus, which is a 12-inch range flamer weapon with AP -1. So really good. So D6 hits, D6 shots, always hits. Then he's got the Malus Noctum, the Evil Knight, which is his Thunder Hammer. Strength ×2. Sorry, he's not Torgaradon here, guys. He's only got Strength 8, right?
How dare you.
-3, but 4 flat damage all the time, not just against vehicles. And he does suffer a -1 hit with that, so it's a normal Thunder Hammer in that respect.
It's still pretty good. Still hitting on 3s.
Yep.
And yeah, just a normal Thunder Hammer is still horribly good.
Yeah, it's 4 damage instead of 3.
And
which
you
is
don't
great.
have to pay for it on him at the exorbitant price.
Hey, 140 points.
Yeah, I mean,
Way good deal for him.
Yeah.
So his abilities are also very powerful. He lends a great assault unit to your army. He has Onto the Anvil, which adds +1 to wound rolls for attacks made by melee weapons and Salamanders units within 6 inches of him if they were charged, or heroically intervene. So just a flat +1 to wound in combat, as long as it's first turn of combat.
That is very, very exciting.
Yeah, that's pretty good. He also has a 4-up invulnerable save. He has the Iridian Drakehide Cloak, which gives any weapon that targets him a -1 damage characteristic.
Running theme with these marine supplements is
-1 damage.
-1 damage.
So, but that's a great ability. I think that makes him a lot tougher, especially if he gets hit with like 2 or 3 damage weapons. He's either having the damage or taking a third of the damage right off.
I mean, it's very good and very fluffy actually, because of Nocturne, like using the cloaks, going out as warriors and whatnot, like they did in the lore, and killing these dragons and using them, as their right of challenge or whatnot.
Yep, 100%.
So I like it a lot. It shows that he's still got it from back in the day. He's just carrying it along with him.
Yep, and then he's also got Rights of Battle, just like a normal captain. So yeah, he's a great deal for his points. Only 140 points for a really solid beat stick character that adds a lot to your melee punch. And he's really hard to get rid of at a 2+ armor save, 6 wounds, and -1 damage.
Yeah. So you've got 2 very solid characters.
Oh man, great characters. Yeah.
You're probably going to see in almost all Salamanders armies.
Yeah, I think you're at least going to see one of them in every Salamander's army. But I easily see both. I see Ardax as a really great target for a couple of the different stratagems. I think he's a really solid choice. Vulcan, I would suspect you're going to see probably more even than Agatone.
Well, because most of the people that already play Salamanders already own Vulcan.
True.
So,
But just the army-wide buff of
Yeah.
going to hit and wound rolls is huge.
Which stacks with some really cool stuff they can do
God.
later on.
yeah.
So, and here you can see Ardax in all of his glory, probably as big as an aggressor. So that's pretty cool. He's a beefy boy.
Is he? He's just in regular Primaris, right?
Yeah, he's an artificer armor.
Right,
yeah.
but it's just regular Mark 10 instead of...
Yeah,
a little beefy fire daddy.
Yep. All right, so the Crucible of War. So the ability for doctrines that Salamanders get is called Promethean Cult. What this does is, while the tactical doctrine is active, when resolving an attack made by a flame or melt a weapon, add 1 to the wound roll. Super powerful, especially if you're building your army to maximize that flame damage.
Yep.
Just a +1 to wound with flamer weapons is really gross. That means that like normal flamers are wounding vehicles on 4s, and knights and toughness 8 vehicles on 5s.
Yeah, it's very good.
If only there was a way to manipulate that wound roll.
Or re-roll it, right?
Right.
Yeah. So really great. Again, you have to kind of build your army around this. But my theme, I think the theme of this army is, if you get your units within 8 inches of the enemies, they just die.
They're already dead. Yeah, that's Salamanders to a T right there. Actually, if they're within 12 inches of you, basically, you're already dead.
Oh,
You've
man,
already lost.
Yeah, it's gonna be real tough.
As someone who primarily plays close combat armies, I'm very excited for this.
I can't wait to charge them.
At least they'll get -1 when shooting your plague bearer.
Oh, flamers just hit. All right. So salamanders have a bunch of really cool warlord traits that help to buff the hitting value of their characters. Like they really change how hard they hit, as well as some that'll increase how tough they are. So first one, Anvil of Strength. This is Vulcan Hestan's warlord trait. This gives +2 to the warlord's strength characteristic. Super solid, right?
Yes.
Yep. So being able to add 2 to a guy with a Thunderhammer makes him strength 12. So just throwing that out there. Or
That's almost as good as the 3 times power fist.
Yeah.
it's the same. Yeah, but it's
I mean,
yeah.
It's easier math.
But
to
it's
get
less
there.
but it's less of a fist. So it has that going for it. The other thing that you can use this on that I thought was kind of funny is maybe on a Chaplain Dreadnought.
I don't think that's funny at all, man. That does not sound funny.
So that would make him strength 16 with his Dreadnought close combat weapon, or putting on the character Dreadnought that Salamanders have.
But the only downside for him is he's
Brayarth?
the only character that you can take if he's your warlord.
Yes, but you can pay 1 CP out of the Space Marine book and give any character a warlord trait. Yeah, you forgot, didn't you?
I forgot about that trait.
So, but yeah, giving him either this one or the other one that's really good is Forge Master. Add 2 to the toughness characteristic of this warlord. So if you did take Brayarth and you wanted to use the warlord trait to give him 2 warlord or the stratagem to give him 2 warlord traits, you could make him strength and toughness 10. Oh no, sorry, toughness 11. My bad.
Oh, how dare you? That's a lot of command points, but that's a real irritating unit.
It'd be pretty funny.
All right.
Anyway, so that's another one. Forge Master +2 toughness makes your warlords super tough. Then you've got Miraculous Constitution. So as Vulcan was an Eternal, is it Eternal? Perpetual.
Perpetual,
That's
yes.
what it was. So if he gives them a 6-up, feel no pain, and at the start of each remove phase, the warlord regains a wound. Pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty solid.
Yep. Never give up. At the start of the battle round, you can select 1 friendly Salamanders unit within 6 inches of the warlord. They get Defenders of Humanity, so they get the objective secured.
It's good.
Not bad.
Don't all Space Marines already have Defenders of Humanity objectives secured?
Absolutely, if they're troop choices.
Okay.
Yep.
So you can give this to any unit.
So this is similar to the Imperial Fist one.
Yep. Or Crimson Fist.
Or Crimson Fist one, but you don't get to double up.
Exactly, if they already have Defenders of Humanity.
You want to double defend humanity.
Right. Well, and Salamanders in the fluff are one of the most kind, supposedly, of the Space Marine chapters, so they do the most to help people out. They do a lot of charitable donations.
Wash people's dishes.
Yep, they make a lot of Christmas presents for kids.
Lots of old ladies getting walked across the street.
Yep, that kind of thing. They're basically
I want
the
to imagine your
Christmas
salamander
elves.
crushes their wrist while grabbing them, and then just drags a limp arm.
Come with me, mortal, if you want to.
That sounds like the chaos version of the Salamanders. I'm
Anyway.
still trying to do good deeds.
Then you have Lord of Fire, and this is Ardax Agatone's warlord trait. This lets you reroll the dice to determine the number of attacks made with flamer weapons by friendly salamanders within 6 inches.
Alright,
So I think this is the gimme trait, but I could be totally wrong with this. I think it's really
you
good.
rarely are. So
I think just the way this book is set up, and you'll go more into it later. If you're maximizing flaming weapon or flamer weapons is how this book is run.
Yeah.
And doing that with that warlord trait is saving you CP for some other strats later on in the book here.
Yep.
that are-
And you don't have to spend them on that, but it could be worth it or it could be not, depending on how much you absolutely just need something to die. The final one is Patient and Determined. Once per shooting phase and or once per fight phase when resolving an attack made by this warlord, do not make a hit roll. It just hits.
hot.
That's pretty cool if you have a really good, if you're a combi melta for a character. I'm trying to think of some other stuff. But anyway.
You said it was the fight phase as well?
Yeah.
So that's
auto hit with a Thunder Hammer.
So
is
to me,
nice.
that's good. So you can auto hit with a Thunder Hammer. So if you have a character that has 1 or 2 wounds left and you need them gone,
Sure.
then that's kind of a way of taking dice out
Making
of
sure
it.
that you're
Yeah.
getting that. Or if you're shooting at something that has a huge penalty to hit,
Yes.
that could also be really
Like
solid.
Plague Bearers.
Sure.
Yep.
Then of course also Salamanders also get to reroll 1 to hit to wound and to wound roll every single phase.
Right.
Every time they attack. So
Each unit. So
each unit, yep. So pretty good there. Then we have Relics. So we have the Relics of Nocturne and the Special Issue War Gear. Let's go over Special Issue War Gear first, because those are less cool, right? So we have Adamantine Mantle, Artificer Army, Mastercraft Weapon, Digital Weapons. All of those are standard for every Space Marine supplement. Some of those are equipable by Sergeants. They're pretty good. Then you have the Obsidian Aquila, Promethium Plate, Dragon Rage Bolts, and the Drake Blade. So the Obsidian Aquila, whenever a chapter model within 6 would lose a wound on a 1d6, on a 6+, it's not lost. So a 6-inch bubble of 6 up feeling pain is really powerful, I think. That's a great one. Promethium Plate, when resolving an attack made against this model or against a model with this relic, an unmodified wound roll of 1, 2, or 3 always fails. So you can only win them on a 4+. Super good.
Yep.
Just like so tough. Like there's lots of ways to boost the survivability of your models in this book.
Yeah.
Dragon Rage Bolts. So this is very similar to the Imperial Fist one, where you make one to hit roll with your bolt weapon, and instead of doing one hit, you do d6. You do d6 to wound rolls, and all of those are damage characteristic 1 and armor penetration 1.
Okay.
So not bad.
Not bad.
But if again you put it on a sniper weapon, you can get d6 shots with a sniper weapon that ignore line of sight and cover potentially. I thought that was kind of cool.
I mean, we have different definitions of cool, but sure.
neat combo synergy.
Yep. It's very good synergy, very powerful synergy. And then you have the Drake Blade, and this replaces a power sword, mastercrafted power sword, or combat knife. And it gives you it's a replacement for the power sword, obviously. So strength user -4 AP instead of -3, or minus none in the case of a combat knife. 2 flat damage. Anytime you make a wound roll of 6, they take 1 mortal wound in addition to any other damage.
Anytime you can dish out mortal wounds is good. So.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Next we have the Relics of Nocturne. So we've got Vulcan Sigil, add +1 to the attack characteristics of the model that has it.
Okay.
Keep in mind these are only usable by Salamanders themselves. Successor chapters will have to, I think they can pay a CP for that. I'll have to look.
Almost all of them have that they can do.
Yeah,
that,
I think they do, but Salamanders don't technically have any recorded successors, so I'll have to see if that exists. Anyway, so they got Vulcan Sigil, add 1 to the attack characteristics of model with this relic. In addition, once per battle, start of the fight phase, you can hold it aloft, and all Salamanders within 6 get +1 attack. And the guy who has it gets +2.
Huh.
So that's a pretty good relic.
It's pretty, it's
solid.
I mean, I wouldn't kick it out of bed for burning crackers.
So if you want to really buff those Assault Centurions and make sure that they hit like a freight train, that's your one right there. I like this one here, the Drake Smiter. So this is a replacement Thunderhammer. It's effectively the same as a normal Thunderhammer, except it's AP -4. It still is -1 hit, but anytime you roll an unmodified wound roll of 6, add 3 to the damage characteristic.
That's quite the exploding hit.
Yep. So a flat 6 damage when it hits, and there's a way that you can boost that up even further, which we'll cover later on.
Which we'll cover very shortly.
Yep, very shortly.
All right.
And right now. So, just kidding. We'll save it for the stratagems. All right, then you have Wrath of Prometheus. This is a bolt gun or mastercrafted bolt gun replacement. It is a bolter that has a 30-inch range, strength 5 -2, 3 flat damage, rapid fire 1.
Okay.
Not bad.
Pretty good.
Yeah. Then you have the Tome of Velcona, which is a librarian upgrade. The model with this relic knows 1 psychic power from the Promethean discipline, in addition to any other powers it knows. When a psychic test is taken for a model with this relic, and you're attempting to manifest a power from the Promethean discipline, you can add 1 to the total. So you get an extra power, and you add 1 to your results, and you can take a Promethean power in addition to like a librarian's power, or something else. So you can, I feel like it's real. This is a really good.
It gives you a lot of flexibility.
Yeah,
Very
it's
much.
really solid. Then you have Salamander's Mantle. When resolving an attack made against a model with this relic, subtract 1 from the wound roll. Super solid.
Super solid.
Then you have Nocturne's Vengeance, which is a combi flamer. Basically, it gives you a mastercrafted bolt gun, so damage 2, -1 AP, and a mastercrafted flamer, AP -1, and 2 damage on that as well. And then finally you have the Helm of Draculos, which is Primaris only. Add 1 to the wounds characteristic of this relic, and subtract 1 from the leadership characteristic of models while their units are within 6 inches of them.
That's really good.
Yeah, it's really solid.
Yeah.
Super solid.
Like a Gravis Captain with 8 wounds. It's pretty good, right? Yeah, I
Yes.
think so.
Yeah. Especially if he's off buffing aggressors or something
Heck
like
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That minus bubble
Hard
from
to agree.
leadership.
Brutal.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So the
This
relics.
section is worthless, right?
It's
Or the stratagems?
yeah. So I think they have the best stratagems of all the Space Marine supplements. Like very much so. Like even better than Iron Hands ones. Like the amount of damage output that these guys can do is like
I think we were
crazy.
talking that we just read the first 4, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, the first 4. That's what it was.
I was like, oh my god, these guys are going to be super stupid. And I mean, they're amazingly powerful. So you've got Flamecraft, the first one. So this one is changed. Before Flamecraft lets you add 1 to the wound rolls of flamer weapons.
Yep.
Since you get that as a normal benefit for the codex or the doctrine. Now you pop the strat. Don't roll the number of hits for flamers. Just do maximum hits.
No!
And it's until the end of the phase, so if you have something like Aggressors that gets to shoot twice, you can do both shots at maximum.
So like a unit of 6 Flamestorm aggressors.
Yes.
Maximum Hits was the name of my radio show in college. It was an overnight show. I don't think anybody listened. So
That's why I was just listening to all infantry being put away into cases.
Dude, fear for your tanks though, man, with +1 to wound.
God.
Speaking of +1 to wound, Crucible of Battle. Use the stratagem in the shooting or fight phase when a Salamander's unit is chosen to shoot or fight with until the end of the phase. When resolving an attack made by them, add 1 to the wound roll. So now your flamers are wounding toughness 7 vehicles on 3+. They're wounding toughness 8 stuff on 4s. So, and the infantry, like you're already 2s, like pretty much across the board, regardless of what it is.
Busy melting the bejesus
Oh my
out of
god,
people.
you're just melting faces.
So for
1 CP. So it's the same as Veterans of the Long War, right?
So for 3 command points, you have a unit with max flamer shots
yeah.
that have +1 to wound that can be re-rolled from the captain's bubble.
Yep.
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 Pack my vehicles.
Hold on. I'm not even done yet.
Oh, that's right. It's not even.
There's still 2 more stratagems to add to this combo, John, that will just destroy everything within 8 inches.
I'm just gonna make it.
Just like
It's the name of my video.
I destroy everything within 8 inches. That's the name of your video.
Yep.
I fucking doubt it.
Yo. Got him.
All right, so then we've got Strength of the Primarch, another great stratagem. This is in the fight phase. Select a Salamander's unit until the end of the phase. Add 1 to the strength characteristic of models in that unit. Solid. Right?
Yeah.
Especially when
Solid.
you've got Assault Centurions that are ×2 strength. Or you've got your aggressors, same aggressor unit. They're to now strength 10. Amazing.
Ugh.
But it doesn't end there. Anytime with that unit you roll its wound roll of 6, double the damage characteristic of that weapon. So that means those Assault Centurions are doing 6 flat damage on 6s to wound with their siege drills, or your aggressors are doing 2d3, or that captain that we talked about earlier with that Relic Thunderhammer is doing a flat 9 damage. 9 damage, guys. Let's talk about
This is
that
like
for a minute.
This is like 3 or 4 CP, right?
That'll be a 1 CP stratagem, John.
Oh, good.
Yep.
I was worried everything would just be 2 CP for these chapter specific ones.
Oh yeah, sorry, no, that's just Imperial Fists.
I'm
All right, so
I'm
Fortify
super
their
excited
command
though.
points.
I mean,
oh man, like the destruction that these guys cause is insane, and that like totally fits with the fluff of the chapter, right? If they like their whole point, like they're humanitarians, right? But once you
So
anger
they will
them,
fucking end you.
once you make them mad, there
do
is
not
no
step
going
off
back.
the path
You're
onto the
just
grass.
dead. Right?
don't run over the old lady. That's it. It's
Don't run over the old lady. Those 2 things are very different.
Yeah, they
Step
did
off
not
the
fill out
path.
the TPS reports.
Oh no.
yeah. I'm super excited because all that I'm seeing are people wanting to buy easy to build aggressors because nobody bought them previously.
I
'cause
bought
they
2
sucked.
boxes this week.
Yeah.
Previously,
Thanks for the
on
preview,
things
Dom.
you didn't buy. Easy to build aggressors and also Centurions. multi-wound models on units makes it really easy for me to choose gangbusters and have it be an
Oh,
actual
yeah,
option.
for sure. That's a good choice.
It is a great
Always
choice.
choose gangbusters.
It is a great choice. These aren't swarms, are they?
No, they're not. Okay.
Gangbusters, then.
Yeah, gangbusters. So the third part to the 4-part Uber stratagem is the Fires of Battle. Now, the Fires of Battle, you pick one model. One model, not a unit. It's very easy to misread that when you're looking at the stratagem. It's one model. Whenever that model shoots with a flamer or melt-a-weapon, anytime they roll an unmodified wound roll of 4 or better, the target suffers 1 mortal wound in addition to normal damage. So, let's look at this humble Flamestorm aggressor, right?
Yes.
Just
let's.
one?
Yeah.
Just, well,
'Cause
yeah,
you
just
only get
one.
to Dave one
Right.
model.
He does, if you pop Flamecraft, he's getting 24 hits if he gets to shoot twice, assuming he stood still.
Okay.
Right? 24 auto hits that now wound with +2 to wound. Any unmodified 4s or better are a mortal wound in addition to damage, and you're getting to re-roll to wound rolls. So, like on average, this guy does 18 mortal wounds to a toughness 8 or 18 mortal wounds to any target if he's just re-rolling anything below a 4, which I would totally do. In addition to the other 2 wound rolls that he's making. So, like, he's wounding, like, let's say he's shooting at a knight, right? So that means he's getting 18 mortal wounds and 18 saves. He's in Assault Doctrine, so you're -1 AP. That means the knight has to also make 18 4-up saves. So it fails 9, so that's 27 damage. I mean, it's
From
just short of
one guy.
It's just short of killing a Castellan in one go by 1 wound.
Yes. And that's
Plus, all the other models in that unit still get to do all their stuff. They don't.
Right, sure.
They don't.
And they may not shoot at that save.
They've already been benefited by 3 other strats. So
So that couple, how much is that final stratagem there?
Oh, this is I'm sorry. This is not the final stratagem.
Oh, okay. How much
It's
is
1.
that? 1. Okay.
and it's
so
not
we're
the
So
final
we're
stratagem.
up at 4.
we're up to 4 command points to
Yep.
do 27 wounds to a knight with 1 flamestorm aggressor.
Yep.
All right, now after Knight players watch this video, Danny, you're just going to see them run away from aggressors. It's just going to be nope.
Well, let's get him in combat, right?
Yeah. Oof. What else have you got to add to this gumbo of doom?
All right, so we've got the Rites of Vulcan. Rites of Vulcan is basically whenever you shoot a rapid fire or assault weapon by a Salamander's model in your army on a wound roll of 6, unmodified, you do an extra 1 AP. So just like all the other Space Marine chapters have that. Oh, sorry. Do you want me to go over the part 4? Because that's over here. The real
No,
ones.
I can wait. I think I'm going to need a minute.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah. Just let it all sink in.
Yeah.
Just keep that. All right. Next, we have Despite the Odds. This is if use a stratagem at the end of your turn if you have a Salamander's Warlord on the table. And you did not achieve any tactical objectives this turn, generate a new one.
That's in the same spot as all,
I think it's really good too. Like you just if you didn't generate one,
For
it's
Maelstrom.
probably bad.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Probably, or if you didn't score one, it's probably really bad. But at least then you'll get some additional stuff.
Yeah, it's solid.
All right, so you may be thinking, well, that's great. I've got a unit that ignores Overwatch. I don't care. I'm going to go into those aggressors and tie them up in close combat. Well, maybe that's not such a great idea. The Immolation Protocol stratagem for 1 CP lets you change all of your flamer weapons to pistol weapons, so you can fire all of those aggressor shots as they did not move in the previous phase with 2d6 auto hits. Rerolling to wound rolls potentially and/or...
Now, can that be combined with Max Flame?
It cannot.
Okay, good.
It's
Oh, wait. No, it
yes,
can.
good.
They can.
Yeah.
It absolutely can. You can combine all of these with that.
So you're going to charge into that unit who's going to change their flavor type to pistol, get you max hits in that unit of aggressors that did not move. If it's, say, a unit of 3 is going
100.
to...
Oh, unit of 3. Sorry. 72 auto hits.
So 72 auto hits in close combat with flame weapons at -1 AP.
It's your special tie-up unit.
Yep, that's correct.
Danny, why are we even here recording? Why aren't we buying every single box of flame aggressors in America?
I'm working on it. All right. Next we have... Oh, and so this is what... This stratagem, like right now as it's written, probably makes the army actually broken. Like... No, for real. Like this stuff like...
Hold on. We're just now getting to the actually broken phase.
Well, okay. So the way this stratagem is worded, it can effectively make your entire army immune to shooting. which I don't like the
yeah.
way that works. I think that it's probably going to be FAQ'd to not include character models. So self-sacrifice, it was leaked a while ago. I did see it on a couple of forums and things like that. But
well, we don't go there, so we waited until we got this review copy.
I absolutely look at all of that
I
stuff.
absolutely do go. I just don't talk about it.
Yep.
Definitely not on a video.
So select one Salamander's infantry unit from your army. Until the end of that phase, enemy units cannot target any other infantry units from your army that are within 6 inches of the selected unit unless the closest enemy unit, unless it is the closest enemy unit and visible to it. So basically it turns any infantry units within 6 inches of that selected infantry unit into characters. So you can only target them if they're closest and visible. So what you do is you use this on a character model, right? Mm-hmm. So then you have units that are out of line of sight or very tough in front of it, like flyers or impulsors, or infiltrators or eliminators that are forward, and out of line of sight. So you can't shoot that character because he's not the closest model to you. And then you can't shoot any of the other stuff behind that character because they're not closer.
There's probably going to be a wording change.
I really think so, because that's really stupid.
I would hope so.
And the other thing to remember about this is it's just infantry units, not Salamander's infantry units. So if you're playing like an Imperial army, where you have like guardsmen or a different Space Marine chapter, you can use your Salamanders to protect those units. So assuming that this does get changed, you're going to want to, the target you want to select is going to have to be something extremely durable. I would say something like Centurions, or maybe Thunderhammer Stormshield Terminators. Those would all be good choices for this stratagem, I think.
Okay, good. Well, solid advice there.
Yep. All right. You got Rise from the Ashes. This is a copy of the Necron stratagem. Use the stratagem in any phase when a Salamander character dies. At the end of that phase, roll 1d6 on a 4-up, return it with 1 wound remaining, and as close as possible as its previous position, 1 inch away from any enemy models. It can only be used on each character once per battle. So if they do kill a character at the end of the phase, you can have him get back up potentially on a 4+.
And you can try that with multiple characters across multiple.
Yeah,
phases.
just you can't do it on the same character more than once, right? So that's really good, especially on these hard to kill characters for Salamanders. You saw the relics. A lot of the relics buff the how tough the character is.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Does it affect vehicle characters?
It just says character.
Oh,
so it could be
that wonderful toughness 11 dreadnought.
Yes.
Can get back up on a 4-up.
Absolutely. Do you know that guy has a 4-up field no pain too?
Oh, really?
Yeah, dude. Dave's like, oh, I'm buying a new dreadnought.
and how much was Bray?
I'm just making a note so that I can add it to the list of things that I need to make a graphic.
Keep in mind, he has 375 points. So
because he takes 3,000 points of shipping to put down.
You know what?
He can't wait for Goonhammer to review Brayarth getting shot by a Warlord Titan,
Jesus.
finding out that it doesn't die.
I don't know if he's as tough as a Leviathan with Iron Hands Leviathan. I don't know. Anyway. So then you have Vengeance for Istvan 5, which also Raven Guard have, and Iron Hands.
Iron Hands? Iron Hands.
So the losers of Istvan 5.
Correct.
I think you mean winners, because they're still part of the Imperium and still kicking.
Anyway, so this one allows you to reroll to hit rolls against Word Bearers, Iron Warriors, Night Lords, or Alpha Legion.
The winners of Istvan 5.
Correct, but not some reason. Sons of Horus, or Black Legion, Emperor's Children, or Death Guard.
Salamanders, they're good with fire. They don't quite realize that Black Legion are Sons of Horus.
Oh,
No, I read the books. They're not. They're not Sons of Horus. They
that's
specifically
true.
say
They
that
are.
Legion is gone.
Yep. All right, so then you have, for 1 CP, you have Stand Your Ground. This will help boost the durability of your infantry models. Use the stratagem in any phase when a Salamander's infantry unit that is not a servitor, did not advance in this movement phase or your previous movement phase, is chosen as the target for an attack. So you can't choose a unit if they advance this turn or last turn. Mm-hmm. Until the end of that phase, when resolving an attack made by a weapon that has a damage characteristic of 1 against that unit, add 1 to its saving throw. Does not affect invul saves. So it's a good way that you can basically give yourself cover or extra cover for a unit that's kind of moving across those tables. Salamanders are not known for their speediness. I guess the gravity of Nocturne is higher, so they're slower for some reason. Slower but stronger.
I mean, that makes sense.
Sure. It doesn't. But yeah, I know. I mean, like physically, I don't think it does. But from the background, that's the background, so that's cool. And they were initiative 3 back in the olden days.
Yeah. So
Anyway, so a great way to make your aggressors like a 2-up or a 1-up armor save.
The aggressors that you haven't moved because you're double shooting them with max flame weapons, +1 to wound. You have your one dude who's doing all the mortal wounds.
Yep.
Because they didn't advance, they now have a 2-up save.
Yeah, we're getting to the next one here.
Good.
Well,
I'm glad that wasn't the one for that combo.
no, what we're going to do is we're going to do Born Protectors first, then we're going to go to Relentless Determination, which is the
little cherry.
It's the cherry on top of that combo.
CP Sunday.
The 5 CP Sunday, yeah. All right, so Born Protectors. Oh my god, what a good stratagem. So it's not even like we're getting to a bad one. This is also a really good one. So this one is 2 CP. In your opponent's charge phase, when a charge is declared against a Salamanders unit from your army, select one friendly Salamanders unit that is more than 1 inch away from the enemy units, from any enemy units, and 12 inches of the unit that is the target of the charge. The selected unit can fire Overwatch against the target as if it were the target of the charge, and then can also make a 2d6 heroic intervention move.
A 2d6?
Oh
my god.
So they get to countercharge, right? As if it were a character.
3 CP, right?
That'd be a 2 CP stratagem.
Okay, good.
Yep. Don't want to charge too much for that. It's kind of like the Hawk Shroud stratagem.
I mean, it's super good.
It's really cool, and it's fluffy.
And it fits in. I mean, that's the irritating things. All of these are flavorful.
Oh man, they really are.
So fluffy.
I think they're flavorful to the point of breaking all this stuff.
So again, just keep in mind, all of this stuff is so powerful, but it does have an 8-inch range. So once self-sacrifice gets, I feel like it has to be nerfed. Like there's no way that's going to stay in the game because that is super dumb. But like, you're going to have carte blanche to shoot these units and try and get rid of them before they get to you. So you're going to have a couple of turns to try and mitigate this stuff. Because they don't have any ways to, like, get in your face incredibly fast. Mm-hmm. Like, you can stick them in repulsors if you want to, but it's so expensive, they're not going to have many other units. Anyway, so the cherry on top of that CP stratagem is Relentless Determination. So use this stratagem at the end of your movement phase. Select one Salamander's unit from your army that did not advance. Okay? So that already ties up with stand your ground, right?
Check that box.
Yep. Until the start of your next movement phase, this unit is treated as having remained stationary during its movement phase for all rules purposes. So
I see how you're laughing as saying that.
So you can, like move a unit of aggressors and still count them as
being stationary.
Right.
So for a unit of 6 to fire, what, 144 shots?
Yep. Now, the other thing that this stratagem does for 1 CP is if that unit has a damage table, so it can bracket, count it at its highest. So it also does that.
Oh, good. I'm glad. So that's 4 CP, right?
That's
one CP.
Yep. So for 5 CP, you can move your unit of aggressors 6 inches and still shoot the flamer weapons. See, he knows.
I mean, it's still not a great range on them, right?
Right. Now, if you take a successor chapter and you forfeit the failed to wound rules from Vulcan, you can turn those flamers up to an 11-inch range.
Oh, why 11, Danny?
Because you can get a plus 3 inch to your range from the successor chapters.
Traits.
So, I mean, but why not just stop at 10? Why go to 11?
Because it goes to 11, and just like this book. In a good way, though. Like, again, like, I really like this. I think it's really fun.
I hate everything about everything that we have seen so far, and I love it all at the same time. Not one of it just screamed to me like, I mean, it all stacks, but it's very CP heavy in order to do. It counterbalances
5
by
CP
being
is a
so
lot.
slow.
Yeah. You're gonna pull this trick off once. So there's gonna be something you want really, really dead that's really gonna die.
So one thing that I thought about when I'm using this stuff, and we'll go over the rest, but the rest are just your basic stratagems that's available to everybody. 2 warlord traits on the same under warlord. Master artisans is give a sergeant character a relic, which can be the Drake Blade, Dragon Rage bolts, Mastercrafted weapon, or digital weapons. Mm-hmm. And then Exemplar of the Promethean Creed is that's the double warlord trait. Trust of Prometheus is to give a Salamander successor chapter a Salamander's relic. So I do have that.
So the last 3.
Yeah, that's
basic.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, you're correct. It's 5 CP to pull off this combo, right? You have to be within 8 inches of the enemy.
Yeah.
So you have to set up a lot of things and make a lot of things go right before this actually works. Your enemy can shut off a lot of these abilities by doing things like not allowing Overwatch, and getting in there and wrecking your guys in close combat, or getting closer to some units so they can't shoot them, or they can shoot other units that you don't want to be shot. So if your opponent has a lot of mobility, like a flyer list or something like that, they can fly in and shoot your units and try and get rid of them. However, if flyers get close to these guys,
They're gone.
you're done.
Yeah.
Like, they're just going to burn you out of the sky.
So like that Eldar Airwing Force that's popular, this list is a hard counter right there.
Well,
I mean,
maybe, right?
You gotta get spread out in order to be able to have flames to cover a lot of space to prevent them from flying.
Remember that Eldar flyers can fly back and forth in a line?
Sure.
So they can fly, just keep in their deployment zone and fly back and forth along their deployment zone and like.
But something
shoot.
like the Hemlock say. I mean, sure, the Crimson,
Oh yeah, you're down
the
there.
Crimson Hunter sure has great back
You're
and
right.
forth,
You're
but
right.
like your Hemlocks,
No,
no, they need to be in the kill zone to die.
the kill zone, correct.
Or as it's known, Salamanders deployment.
Yeah. So, man, those are some good stratagems, though, right? Like,
Yeah. And the cost of them is what gets me. Like the 1 CPs do not seem like 1 CP trades.
Well, so Crucible Battle is effectively the same as Veterans of the Long War, which is one of the best stratagems in the game.
It's
that one's only 1
combined
CP,
with
right?
one of the worst armies though.
Correct. You're not wrong.
It's the balance.
Right.
I think the balance for the stratagems being as low as they are is just because they only affect weapons that are super short range. You're not slapping it on a repulsor executioner and becoming super nasty, with your super lasers.
That's fair. I mean,
True, and like stay in your deployment zone, not having to move around. There's definitely a lot of tactics involved
There
in getting
is.
your guys.
Yeah.
and I think this kind of it's an extremely powerful book, but it needs to be played extremely well.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So, yeah. All right, what do we got next, Danny?
All right, next we have our Promethean Discipline Psychic Tree.
That's when we huff gas.
That is,
Yeah.
it's very sophisticated.
It's where they drink Sterno. Come on. Just continuously burning.
So the first one is Flaming Blast, Warp Charge 6. If manifested, select a point on the battlefield within 24 inches invisible to the Psyker. So Imperial Fist, remember, was 18.
Yep.
Roll 1d6 for each enemy unit within 3 inches of the point. I think the Imperial Fist one was 6 inches, though.
Yes.
Or maybe even 12. It was big. Anyway,
It was a big range.
on a 4+, I take a Mortal Wound. Nah,
Yeah.
it's okay. It's like a little orbital strike.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's a baby orbital strike.
I don't think you'll see this one very much.
Baby's first orbital strike.
There you
There
go.
it is.
Fire Shield. This one is probably going to be in every Salamander's army, I feel like. So this one is Warp Charge 6. If manifested, select a friendly Salamander's unit within 18 inches of the Psyker. Until your next Psychic phase, when resolving an attack made by a ranged weapon against the unit, subtract 1. So it makes their units a little bit tougher to shooting. And when a charge roll is made against the unit, subtract 1 from the result of that as well. So they're -1 to be charged. So you could
All right,
stack
yeah,
that
that's
on...
going to be everything.
Yeah, that's like... I'm thinking like if you could put this on an Impulsor, that's probably pretty good.
It's a pretty big little FU zone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you have Burning Hands. Burning Hands is Warp Charge 6. Until the start of your next Psychic phase, when resolving an attack made with a close combat weapon by the Psyker, if a hit is scored, the target suffers 1 mortal wound and the attack sequence ends. So basically every time he hits, he does a mortal. Yeah, it's okay.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, you could potentially do 8 mortal wounds in one close combat phase if you fight twice.
Yeah.
I guess you could do 10 if you're a Primera Psyker and you charge. Anyway, not bad. Drake Skin. This one's also really good. Warp Charge 6, select a friendly Salamander's unit within 12. And note this is not infantry or anything, this is just a Salamander's unit. They get +1 toughness.
Oh,
your
they
next
are.
Psychic phase.
Hey, how are you doing, buddy?
Toughness 12.
Yeah. Man, I'm just working on buffing
You know,
this
he's 9 wounds.
So I'm just buffing this Dreadnought to high hell with a bunch of Flamestorm Aggressors, and that's my 2K Salamanders list right
Yeah,
there.
there you go.
1 Dreadnought and Aggressors.
Well, you know, the Flamestorm Aggressors are cheaper than Boltstorm Gauntlet ones, too.
Yeah,
What?
that's what I'm
No, they're not.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
They're 15 points for the Boltstorm, or the Flamers, and it's 12 and 6 for the frag launcher, or 12 and 4 for the frag launcher and the Boltstorm Gauntlets.
Okay.
So it's like 1 point per model. Like, it's not a lot, but it's a little.
When you're taking 30 of them, it's a lot.
30 points.
Yeah.
So then you have Fury of Nocturne, Warp Charge 6, select an enemy unit with an 18, invisible to the Psyker, roll 2d6. If the result is greater than the highest toughness characteristic of models in that unit, they take D3 mortals. Not bad.
Right.
That's a
Yeah,
targeted
not bad at
smite.
all.
Yep.
Then you have Draconic Aspect. This one's probably the worst one, I think. Warp Charge 6, if manifested until the start of your next psychic phase, subtract 2 from the leadership characteristics of models and enemy units within 12 inches of the Psyker.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, it's not bad, it's just not great.
Yeah. There's certainly other ones that really jump off.
I mean,
way
you've got
more.
Fire Shield, Drakeskin, huge.
Yeah.
Those are great. Fury of Nocturne is okay, and Burning Hands is okay. I think Flaming Blast and Draconic Aspect are probably not the best powers.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, but definitely two clear winners there.
Yes. Yeah.
Very much so.
Absolutely. And then what are some of our dragon names?
Ooh. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Are you ready for some apostrophes?
If Tiamat is
hard
not on that
continents.
list,
I need those pronounced 100% accurately as well.
Oh, this one's Renee. Rhene.
Oh, Renee.
Yeah, Renee.
It's not a French dragon.
Renee Khan.
it's
Renee Drakner.
Renee Dragon.
Drakar.
Are you sure it's not Rahene?
No,
there's an
there's
H
no
in it.
apostrophe.
No, we already established
Or
during no
Rini?
H's. Chasm.
How about Hezon or Kaladek? Anyway.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's cool.
So where is your head at right now, Danny? As
Oh,
for
man.
armyless construction, I understand you've pre-ordered several aggressors.
So
Pre-ordered.
Or
Post-ordered.
post-ordered.
Oh man, people are gonna listen to this point if they did for some magical reason.
We've had this
and
book
be
for
so
some time. This
confused.
was filmed when Primaris Aggressors came out.
Yeah. We've
It's my story and I'm sticking
Yeah,
to it.
Sure. I have, let's see, the list that I have right now has, is a double battalion, plus I have a spearhead.
Raggart.
So, what? Nah, it's not bad. It's only 14 command points, no big deal. So I've got a battalion with 3 5-man tactical squads with las cannons. And so with the reroll 1 to hit and 2 wound roll for each squad, I think with just 1 las cannon, like they can actually do some work. Like,
Sure.
That's smart.
yeah. And then I've got that one's led by Agatone and Vulcan. Then I have another battalion with a jump pack chaplain with the +1 to wound against the closest target. So combine that with the flamers, you can get +3 to wound on a flamer squad.
Oh,
Hot.
Or if I feel like I need to get into combat faster, I can do the +2 to charges.
Yeah.
That's good too. And then I have a librarian in there as well, a Primaris librarian. And then I have, let's see, in that one I have 3 units of 5 infiltrators. And so those units I can kind of put across the board. So that helps me to, with the stratagem worded the way it is right now, it can help me to keep my units alive.
Yeah.
With that stratagem if I
Right.
target a character. And then also in that I have 2 units of 6 aggressors, and with Flamestorm gauntlets, and 1 unit of 6 assault centurions, with flamers and hurricane bolters.
Okay. That seems pretty solid.
And then the spearhead is, I took a Chief Apothecary Shen, so he's a Forge World model. He's an apothecary that brings back a model from death on a 3+, and heals a unit D3 +1 wounds if it's a wounded model.
oh, so an asshole.
He's a giant asshole. And he's only 75 points and an HQ choice.
Wait, what?
What?
75 points?
Yeah, he's only 75 points. And
Shut. That cannot be right. 75 points?
yeah, 75 points.
That's
so he's like, I took him instead of a lieutenant because I didn't feel like I needed to reroll to wound roll since I had Vulcan.
I feel like that's just broken AF.
It's not, I mean, it's good.
It's a powerful combo.
And then I have a Thunderfire cannon and 2 squads of 3 eliminators for some sniper action and also some indirect fire. So I have some ways to kill units on the first turn to get first blood. So, but I think overall it's all infantry, which is very Salamanders-esque. Like they're not, I mean, they use transports and stuff like that, but they're pretty typically boots on the ground style.
Yeah, I mean, if you could get aggressors across the table in anything that wasn't a repulsor, then you'd probably be taken. Like if the impulsor had, room for 3 aggressors or something like that,
Sure.
because it should. by my definition, have room for aggressors in it.
But I
Well,
feel,
okay, but that would make this just absolutely broken.
I feel impulsor rules are based off of supplement rules.
I feel like the impulsors don't let aggressors in because of this book.
Not letting aggressors in, that's kind of racist. I'm just saying.
No, they have a no aggressors.
No
They have
aggressors
to ride.
policy.
They have to ride the back of the repulsor.
Don't say it. Oh, God. Okay, let's end that here.
Anyway, so but like if impulsors had the ability to carry aggressor models, you could potentially move up 16 inches, drop off your aggressor unit, count them as not having moved, double shoot them without that whole combo of 3 guys like every single turn, and have little missiles of that would go off, and that's, I think, way overpowered.
I don't know. I think that seems fair. I think we should allow it.
Okay. You mind if I playtest that against you, Dave?
I do. I would prefer to watch you playtest it against Jon.
It's fine.
But yeah, so
My new hobby is removing demons from the board.
So with that list, assuming that strat does get FAQ'd, then I have the Centurions that I can just run up the table as fast as I can, buffing them with +1 toughness and -1 to hit.
Running Centurions.
Yep, 4 plus D6 inches every turn, man.
Sarge, we've been running for like 20 minutes. Yeah, we've moved an inch.
You gotta save those command points for other things.
Oh, I'll be spending command points on that advanced roll for sure, unless I roll like a 4 or better. So, and then trying to keep the aggressors behind them as a screen.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Anyway,
I like it.
yeah, I think there's play there.
Well, if you like this video, make sure to digitally or physically like this video on YouTube, on our Mob Rules YouTube channel. Danny does a whole bunch of really good takes on the Codex supplements and general supplements that come out. Be sure to check out our Psychic Awakening supplement
Oh yeah.
review, the Imperial Fist review, and a very fair and balanced and happy review of the Iron Hands Codex. Also check out Mob Rules Podcast. Available where all good podcasts are because they let bad ones in too.
Oh.
Apparently.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
Exhibit A. Anyway, so I've been Danny.
And I've been Dave.
And I've been Jon.
Thanks.